The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Errol Spence. He said he has 2 or 3 fights left at the welterweight division. Um, and I'll just pull up the screen and bang. Here we go. Errol Spence, I got 3 fights left at welterweight before going to 154. Let's find the quotes directly. And here it is. Moving up after 3 fights. Probably 3 fights, said Spence to the Last Stand podcast when asked how many fights he has left at 147 before moving up. It can be 3 or it can be 2. I really just want the big names. I want Manny Pacquiao before he retires, Terrence Crawford, and if I've got to fight a Danny Garcia or anyone else, then I will. And I want the big names before I move up to 154. That's what Spence said. So, Trill, what are your thoughts on Errol Spence saying he has 3 fights at welterweight at 147 before moving up to 154? And what are your thoughts on the 3 fighters that he named?
Yeah, I always said he was like a big heavyweight. I mean, a big welterweight. Can he do it in 3 or 2 fights? Yeah, sure. Why not? I think he can. Is he going to get the names that he want, like a Pacquiao and a Crawford and then Danny Garcia? Yeah, you want the big names. I'm guessing that the Danny Garcia fight is in play right now. That y'all talking and having discussions. I'm seeing like that's coming up everywhere. But like I said before, I would like to see you in there with somebody else before you get in there with these top guys, because I want to make sure that you right when you get in there with these top guys. So maybe, yeah, but I definitely see him moving up to 154 if he's going to get the fights that he wants right now. I don't know if he's going to get the fights he wants, but those are good names. Those are good names. We already discussed about Pacquiao going up to be great, you know what I'm saying, and fighting Triple G. We already talked about him probably having a tune-up before he fights somebody as powerful as a Danny Garcia. And then, you know, with the Terrence Crawford, we can wait another 10 years before that fight. There's so much red tape and stuff going on with them guys. So, yeah, he might be they might meet at 160 or something. So, you know what I'm saying? I can see TC going up to 160. So, 154 in the next 2 fights, I can see it because of his body. I don't know how. I'm surprised he can still make 147, to tell you the truth. Speaking of the truth.
All right, G.
Yeah, I agree 1,000 with what Trill just said. You know, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I don't know how long he could stay at 147. To be honest, it seems like he's starving himself. You know, like even in that podcast, you know, he was talking about it. Like he's making it seem like, yeah, he could get back down to that weight. But it's like all the time you're doing this, like you balloon up and you're trying to force yourself to come back down, and it affects. You can tell it affects his punching power. You know, so I don't know, but I do respect the fact that he wants the 3 biggest names in the welterweight division: Pacquiao, Crawford, and Danny Garcia. So I think that's a great lineup right before moving up to 154. And I'm hoping at 154 he'll show more power, more pop, because I think he'll be fuller. He won't be as fatigued, you know, trying to make weight to get into these fights, especially with notable names. So I'm actually excited to see Errol Spence at 154, man. I think he'll do a lot better than what he's doing at welterweight.
All right, so we're going to turn now to our resident Errol Spence fanboy, Ned the cameraman. You're on mute.
For good reason.
First, I'd like to point out he did say if possibly they can make the Danny Garcia fight happen, but a lot of sources have been posting saying Danny and Earl will be fighting in September. So it doesn't look like a sure thing at this moment, but that would be it'd be dope to get clear out the big names like Crawford, Pacquiao, and Danny, or that's who he really needs to fight, or who if those fights can happen, it'll be dope. But if he moves up to 154, there's a lot of good fighters out there. And I think that's a division that's really good for him and challenging for him. And we can see what Spencer's really made of when he moves up to that division. Because, you know, they're really good fighters. You know, like we got to know names like J-Rock, Charlo, Jarrett Hurd, and so on. So it's going to be a really good competitive division, and it's going to be really exciting to see those fights happen.
All right, so I think his plan, the 3 names he named, I'm happy. I'd love to see the Crawford fight. Pacquiao. I mean, if Pacquiao wants to do it, if Pacquiao wants Triple G, I'm fine with either. But the Danny Garcia name is one that is you got to get past him first. So I wouldn't overlook him if this is the fight they're taking. Then focus on that. But him saying he has 3 fights left, I mean, I understand why he wants those 3 fights. Those are 3 of the biggest fights he can make, and it's good money. I don't see any fight at 154 that's going to get him more money than those 3 fights. So yeah, if you have those 3 fights, then it's time for you to move on. Because what else are you going to do? So it's kind of like a no duh to me. But assuming he wins them. Now, if he loses, then there may be a rematch and more fights. But assuming he wins those 3 fights, then there'll be nothing left for him to do. But I would really love to see him and Crawford get it on sometime in the very near future, mainly because Crawford is older, and I don't want it to happen too late where it's going to be Crawford was past his prime. And I want to see the best Crawford and the best Spence. In the ring, hopefully Spence is still the Spence we saw before the car accident. That's the fight I really would love to see, but Danny Garcia may spoil that party. So,
yeah, definitely Earl needs to heal up. And I like the new teeth. Earl reminds me of Cardi B. Please like and subscribe. Check it out. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Check out the podcast on all major streaming services. My bros appreciate you watching. It's the Boxing Bros.
Yeah.
We bring the